It's never good when we do a post-game show while the game is still going on. And it's also never good when Garrett Temple checks in at the start of the fourth quarter. This game got out of hand early, and it stayed that way. The Pelicans are going to win this game by around 30 to 40 points. That's it from me. Let's break down how it got so bad in tonight's post-game show. Reminder, you may not enjoy the games, but you may enjoy the content. Make sure you've hit that like button if you enjoy what you see, and make sure you're subscribed as well so that you stay up to date with all the content coming your way right here in the Amateur Hour Production Network. Some exciting stuff coming this week. Lots of streams on the main channel, Amateur Sports. Bleacher Report streams from myself twice this week, and a trade deadline watch party on the Board YouTube channel. All right. Well, thankfully we have the community to help us get through games like this because the Pelicans went on a massive run early, and it stayed that way. The Raptors got out to a very nice 2-0 lead. They led at one point in this godforsaken game, 2-0. And then the Pelicans went on a 10-0 run. And that was it. The Pelicans have absolutely dismantled the Raptors. The spread going into this game was 10.5, 11. But every matchup seemed to be, other than the Pirtle JV matchup, every matchup seemed to be in favor of the Pelicans. The Raptors are on the second night of a back-to-back. Second nights of back-to-backs are never good, especially when you play a double overtime game on the first half of a back-to-back. So, yeah, everything was set up for the Pelicans to be successful today. They probably would have looked at this one as a scheduled win. RJ Barrett, injury management, did not play in this game, and the Pelicans absolutely ran this team over, especially Brandon Ingram, who in 30 minutes of play, don't know if he'll come back in, but in 30 minutes of play, scored 41 points, 8 of 11 shooting from 3, 16 of 21 shooting from the field. He also had 9 assists and 6 rebounds. With the amount of bricks the Raptors were throwing up, maybe he even could have gotten a triple-double out of this game. But it was a horrific display by the Raptors. Was partially saved by a very nice Grady Dick game, 17 points so far. Again, these are stats. You see the clock up on the screen there. I'm not watching Garrett Temple play for 12 minutes, nor am I watching Jalen McDaniels play for 12 minutes. The Raptors got this one really wrong. Early, it was the Zion Williamson experience. Nobody really guarded him. Couldn't really find ways to counter that, but then it became the Brandon Ingram show. Like, there's just nobody you could really put on Ingram. There's no matchup there. The Raptors have lost all of their defensive stoppers. The defense of this team is abysmal. Even with a guy like Pirtle in the paint, who had a pretty solid game, he's no match for a guy like Zion, really. He's no match for a guy like Brandon Ingram, especially when Brandon Ingram is in a mood like this, where he's unconscious, had heat check after heat check after heat check in the third quarter, and just could not miss. Overall, it's tough to really pinpoint something specifically that has gone so amiss in this game. This team looks tired. Barnes played 48 minutes yesterday. Quickly played 41, I think, minutes it was yesterday. I don't know. There isn't really something I can attribute, like coaching-wise, that the reason this game went so wrong. The Pelicans have a ton of size. The Raptors have lost like all of their size. That was a problem. The Pelicans have tons of guys who can shoot. We're spacing the floor really well. The Pelicans are shooting, at the time I'm saying this, 46% from 3. A lot of that's Ingram, yes, but McCollum's 6 of 10 from 3. And even Trey Murphy's 2 of 8. Alvarado's 1 of 5. I guess it's just, yeah, Ingram's hit 8. McCollum's hit 6. They've hit 19 in total. It's just been those guys. But those two players have been knocking down shot after shot. The Raptors haven't been able to sustain that. On offense, the Raptors are a little bit one-dimensional right now. Gary Trent got hurt. Didn't play second half, wasn't playing well to begin with. Maybe he was dealing with an injury of some sort. Again, second night of back-to-back. So spacing wasn't really there for the Raptors tonight. The size of Pelicans took away any interior game. There's just, even when the Raptors had Siakam and OG, there was like very rarely a go-to option for the Raptors to get an easy bucket, let alone without those guys. Scotty Barnes still adjusting to being the first option. Still put up a decent stat line, but I suppose it's just like when you need a bucket, when you need something, nobody is really giving that to the team at the moment. Not really blaming Scotty Barnes. Want to go out of the way to defend it because He's been getting way too much criticism lately. He's 22. He's putting up decent numbers. We threw him into this first option role. Perhaps he wasn't ready for it, but why not? He's 22. Let's throw it at him and see how he handles it. Like, what is this team really playing for? The only thing they're playing for is to keep their top 6 protected picks. So, unfortunately, nights like this are bound to happen where you can't really get anything out of it other than at least Grady Dick maybe will get a bit of a confidence boost. But tough to get a confidence boost when you're down by 40 points with 6:39 to go in the game. Let's take a look at the box score here. Bruce Brown, I was expecting a lot more from him as a Raptor. In 24 minutes so far, Bruce Brown is a minus 33. I get we're down by 38, but that's crazy. Dennis Schroeder played 18 minutes and is a minus 25. What the hell? He had 0 points. Yeah, I think Dennis Schroeder is overly criticized. He deserves it today. Barnes, like I said, still a decent stat line. 17 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, 5 of 12. Really, I guess one thing I can criticize coaching-wise, Barnes isn't really being used effectively. He's like having the Zion matchup. He's getting the Ingram matchup. That's not really his game. It's just there's nobody else who can do that. He's got to do it. Barnes is way better as the help defender, playing as a 4 on defense. I guess Darko figures nobody else can do this job, and maybe he's right, so you have to use Scotty there. But it's unfortunate you can't get Scotty in his best positions defensively, and that's just making him labor even more, especially after playing 48 minutes the night before. But still a decent stat line offensively. Pirtle was the one matchup the Raptors had the upper hand. JV can't play defense. Pirtle exposed that. 14 points, 9 rebounds, 7 of 8 shooting from the field. Trent, I don't know if it was injured. Didn't play the second half because he was injured, but 1 of 5 here. No threes from him. Quickly continues to kind of make decent decisions as a point guard, but the efficiency isn't there right now. His paint scoring needs work. Big time needs work. And all these things I'm maybe criticizing here. It's a young team. These things could improve, specifically for like Barnes and Quickly, but his paint scoring needs to get better. Definitely needs to get much better. Those easy shots, we just need some of those to start falling. Like, nothing really you can say about it. Like, those sort of shots need to fall for a point guard of his caliber. That off the bench, tough for him to affect this one. No matchup that really worked for him. And then there's a bunch of guys playing garbage time. Oh, another solid Jordan Nwora game, along with the Grady Dick. Here's the best performance of the night. 17 points from Grady Dick, 7 of 14 shooting, 3 of 7 from 3. Showcasing that it's not just 3-point shooting. He can attack closeouts. He can make the right decisions. A couple of assists from him as well. Grady Dick is one to keep beyond the trade deadline and continue working with going forward. But, I mean, every facet of the game was dominated by the Pelicans. 17 offensive rebounds to our 7. 95 field goal attempts to our 72. Raptors weren't even that inefficient, but the Pelicans were just way more efficient. They were more efficient from the field, way more efficient from 3. They got way more possessions because of the rebounding. They have forced, at this point, 10 more turnovers, 28 points off of our turnovers compared to 6 points from us off of their turnovers. Yeah, they just obliterated us. Hit shot after shot from 3 because Ingram and McCollum got hot. Welcome to the tank wars, guys. Like, this is just what we're going to have to deal with, especially this week. We knew tanking was going to be tough, especially the week of tanking leading into the trade deadline. The amount of guys in this team who don't know what their situation is going to be by the end of the week. It's hard to play in these circumstances, and it's certainly hard for a guy like Scotty Barnes to operate in these circumstances as well. So, upcoming schedule, I think this will be tough. Hornets away, they've already beaten us. I mean, a lot of guys. I mean, guys might get traded even before that game. Guys will be wondering if it's their last game for the Raptors. It's kind of sad to think we might be underdogs against the Charlotte Hornets on Wednesday. But if RJ's healthy, we probably aren't. But Raptors probably can fare by 2 or 3 points in that one. I gotta feel like, will it be 2 or 3? Well, okay. What I'm trying to say is, it's embarrassing where we've fallen. The Rockets on Friday, they just obliterated us. At least we're at home for this one, but that'll be tough. And then a second night of the back-to-back at home against the Cavs. Cavs are unbelievable lately. They are going to smoke us in that one probably. It's going to be a tough week. I mean, Friday, a bunch of guys might get traded. You don't even have a full roster to work with. It's going to be tough, but we take the small pauses where we can. Today, there's not much. One of those tough ones, guys. Like, you take the pause where you can, but there ain't much. Grady had a good game, but that's about it. Not the right kind of tanking game. You want to be able to get at least something out of the game, but even with a Grady Dick positive night, like, the Raptors are about to lose by 40. Fifth leg of a road trip. It's miserable. I mean, it's just a miserable situation right now. But hopefully in the end, it's all worth it. Hopefully in the end, the Raptors can recoup some assets at the trade deadline and remind us about the hopefully brighter and positive future ahead, because nights like this just really stink and really suck the wind out of you. I got nothing else to say. Hopefully some action this week in the trade department. All right, guys, that'll do it. Tons of content coming on Amateur Hour Sports and Amateur Hour Reactions, so make sure you subscribe to all Amateur Hour Sports production channels. Drop a like if you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you again next time. Raptors do have another game this week on Wednesday. And listen, suffering is tough with the Raptors playing right now, but it's easier to suffer together. Get involved, get on board, join the Amateur Hour Army today.